David, so nice of you to come over to the studio. We hear you have a pitch for us.
I got a great idea for a movie!
Right, is it this one here you emailed me? I have the attachment here.
It's called Eight-Legged Freaks!
Yes, Eight-Legged Freaks. I see it right here. Now, why are you... Do you have like an inner ear thing? Are you okay, David?
What did you think of the movie?
It seems like a solid premise. Why are you yelling?
Giant spiders!
Yes, I gathered that, David. Giant spiders. Could you bring it down?
Wrestling's not fake!
David, that's not this movie, and there
Sorry.
are other people trying to conduct business here.
I got confused!
Okay, so yeah, no, this looks like it'd be kind of a fun little throwback. This
Leon Rippy!
Pardon me?
Leon Rippy is gonna be in it!
Okay, yeah.
Carrie Wurer!
Yeah, that's good pick. Good.
I'm
David,
in it!
Why are you? Yes, of course you're in it. We figured you would be, David. Why are you yelling at us?
Doggy Dog!
Ooh, Dougie Doug, nice.
Right?
Yes, very, very much so.
Okay, so are we making this movie?
Well, absolutely, David. This looks like it could be a lot of fun. And if you could just keep it down a bit, there are other offices in the building. They're trying to conduct business.
It's been a pleasure doing business with you.
Thank you!
You know when I pick a movie, that's when I'm under pressure now. The question always comes back to me, what were they thinking now? Whoa, what were they thinking? What were they thinking?
Hello, everyone.
Oh, you've made it, Cousin Borshti.
Hello, Milos.
Oh, Borshti, it's so good to have you on the show. And Mr. Brendan and Mr. Nathan have left the studio open. We can talk about that movie our cousin made.
Which one is that?
A Serbian film.
Oh, yes, let's go. Oh, by the way, I have to apologize. I don't know why my accent keeps changing.
It's okay. I understand you're trying to avoid detection. Now, this is easily one of the funniest romantic comedies to come out of our homeland in a long time.
So great. Lots of great. Uh-oh, someone's coming in.
What? Hey, guys, what are you... Get out of here. Milos, come on,
Jesus,
man.
Come on.
No,
Who's
get
this
away from my
dude?
shoes. Get away from my shoes.
Who's Milos's friend?
Is that... Oh, it's Cousin Borshti. We were going to talk about great romantic comedy from our homeland.
Come on, the Serbian film. It is great. No, get out. Get out. Don't. Those are our guest shoes.
No, leave. Milos, put him down. Put him down.
Put them down.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I think they're gone.
Whew.
That was a hectic start.
I know, right? What? We go out to get a drink, some water for the show.
Yeah.
We come back and Milos and... Did he say his name was Borshti?
Borshti?
Who names their kid Borshti?
That's a weird name.
That's a weird name, man.
Well, what's your name?
My name's Nathan, which is
I'm-
fairly normal.
Hey, let's not name shame.
Well, okay, Brandon.
Brendan! And this is What Were They Thinking?
Mm-hmm.
This week, we're talking about Eight-Legged Freaks!
Nowhere's near as bad as I remembered it.
But we're not doing this alone, Nathan.
No.
We have a first-time guest here on the show, very patiently waiting for his introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Real Feels podcast, we have Drew, live in studio, aka Skype. Welcome.
Yay, I'm excited.
As you should be.
Yes. Drew, before we get going, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and where we can find your wonderful podcast?
Yes. So, the Real Feels podcast comes out every other Wednesday on Podbean and iTunes, and what we do is we bring a brand new movie of a different genre or subgenre every single time, and we basically go through the movie, talk about our favorite parts, the good, the bad, the worst lines, the best lines, and really just get down to the feels.
The real feels, if you will.
Well, yeah.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Hey. And that just to specify for our listeners, that's REEL.
Yes, yeah, like a film reel because I like wordplay.
Hey,
Hey,
who
you're
doesn't?
not alone.
Nathan, me. Have you met my friend Nathan? You actually, it's a fun fact, super fun fact, because it's a fun fact. Your co-host is also named Nathan.
Yes, my buddy Nathan and I do the show, and actually, we're also going to be bringing on our good friend Jack to join the show as well.
Oh,
so
there you go.
It's a little
yeah,
ditty
so it's gonna
about
become a trio.
Jack.
2 American kids on a podcast.
Do.
Ooh, that's catchy.
Right? You owe us
I like that.
You owe us $100.
100.
We're selling it. Well, okay, we'll give it to you since you're a guest now. 90.
There you go.
Ah, well, that's just a steal then.
10% off, man.
There you go. Right off the bat, Nathan, we got to give major props to Drew because I will say a little bit behind the scenes right now. The original choice for this episode was Cool World, and I said okay, and Drew said maybe Eight-Legged Freaks. So I said okay, well, which one would you prefer? He said I'm gonna go watch both, and then I'll let you know. So this guy watched Cool World for nothing.
Hey, no, he's a trooper.
That's what I mean. He's a trooper. He watched Cool World for nothing, just to help us out. So,
It was an experience.
kudos to you, sir, for getting through Cool World and not having any kind of payoff.
It's definitely not as good as I first remembered it. Definitely going through it, glad I had something to drink while going through it.
Speaking of which, what's everyone drinking tonight, right?
I have coffee.
Huh?
I have coffee in front of me.
Oh. You guys aren't all both functioning alcoholics like me?
Well, see, I think if I had a sniff of beer, I would probably pass out. 'Cause I am exhausted. Are you fellas drinking something?
I have a nice ginger ale in front of me. I had a bit, heavy drinking last night. I'm good now.
Raspberry Crush and gin.
Nathan has a full bottle of whiskey in front of him.
Whiskey? Oh, that should
Whiskey.
kill me, man.
Yeah. So, we're going to be talking about Eight-Legged Freaks, guys. 2002 film, directed by first-time director and basically, not the last-time director, but the last time he made a theatrical release, Ellery Elkayam, who... Yeah, exactly. Who also did a short called Larger Than Life about spiders invading a suburban house, which basically was gave him the green light for this movie. Also produced by classic cinematic genius Dean Devlin, Roland Emmerich's little buddy.
Yeah.
And okay, so actually I have it written down here. So Ellery Elkayam after this also did. This led him to such great films as Return of the Living Dead, Rave to the Grave, Return of the Living Dead, Necropolis, and Without a Paddle, Nature's Calling. So, budget $30 million, and it made $45 million at the box office, so it did okay.
Got its budget back.
Yeah.
Yeah, like barely, but, it did alright. They were going to make a sequel, and it was canceled, though, so I'm assuming not enough money to justify it.
They're gonna make... I feel everything was
what?
said that needed to be said.
I feel like it was just going to be...
what are they gonna possibly make a sequel out of? There's nothing left. The spiders are dead. The toxic waste is gone.
Spoiler alert!
Getting ahead of ourselves.
No, I feel like it was just going to be a different town with giant spiders, probably. Maybe the only connecting tissue would be Dougie Doug. By the way, guys, as we start this movie, we need to say Dougie Doug is in this movie.
Yes, he is.
What did you say last time? That darn cat.
That darn cat.
That's a fun movie.
First thing I want to criticize right off the bat, the title Eight-Legged Freaks there's no dash between 8 and legged, so it literally means 8 freaks who are legged. Like just
I mean, eight freaks with legs.
right. It's not 8 legs on all these freaks. It just happens to be it's freaks that just happen to have legs.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that being said, 8-legged freaks. We open with Dougie Doug.
Mm-hmm. Do you know fear?
Sinister music for every single credit that comes on the screen, by the way. David Arquette's name comes up and is like, oh. As if he's like the Candyman or something. But yeah, Dougie Doug. By the way, this takes place in Prosperity, Arizona. I don't know if that's a real town.
I don't think it is.
In the quiet mining town of Prosperity, Arizona. Fact check. Prosperity, Arizona is the name of a fictional town. No, it is not real.
Doesn't exist. There you go.
Doesn't exist.
Glad we took the time to
Clear that up?
clear that one up. Yep.
Well, I think right off the bat, yes, we open with Dougie Doug, who works for Freedom Radio, which is a trailer with a giant satellite dish sticking out of it. And, like, my question right off the bat is, he probably doesn't want people to know where he broadcasts from, right? Because we get the sense right off the bat that he's kind of a conspiracy nut.
He's a bit of a conspiracy nut, yeah.
So I'm thinking that a trailer with a giant satellite dish may give away your position.
Here's the thing.
He's also like up in the hills.
Yeah.
This is true.
There's also the fact that I feel that most conspiracy nuts only kind of like half believe the conspiracies they're toting, just because they're saying it because they want to seem interesting.
Which is somewhat proven later in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Why is everyone in town listening to this radio station though?
Nothing else to
Because
listen
apparently
to.
there's nothing else.
Like that is, yeah, he has to be the only radio station in town because literally, well, there's a later development that is bonkers insane regarding that, but
so apparently he like nothing else can get in, but so he's got to be the only thing that is there.
which is crazy. That means they're not getting news. They're not getting music. It's literally just Dougie Doug being like, "I don't want aliens up my butthole."
They get internet and they get television because they come through cable, but
But no cell phone.
yeah, over
and
the
no
air
other radio.
and cell phone stuff won't go because of the canyons that they're in.
2002 internet. Let's not forget.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys know? So he's talking about, he's talking about conspiracy theories right off the bat. We get a sense his show is a little loony. Did you guys get that he kind of said that L. Ron Hubbard was spreading the truth?
No,
He said that like L. Ron Hubbard was doing okay for himself.
exactly.
Well, the way he says it, though, he's like, there's no money in spreading the truth. Like Mother Teresa, Gandhi, L. Ron Hubbard, well, he did okay for himself. But he said it as a way to say, like, L. Ron Hubbard was spreading the truth. Was it truth spreader?
Was it a slight Scientology little
I think
promo?
so.
No, I didn't catch that.
Dougie Doug,
That's-
Scientology. We need to find out if maybe that's why Ellery Elkayam is not directing anymore. And then we meet the scariest character in the movie, which is Tom Noonan playing Joshua, a spider.
No, he's got like that spider farm, which I don't know how he's possibly making a great deal of money because it seems like the boy is the only one who comes up there.
A toxic spider farm.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
Who else thought he was going to eat that cricket when he pulled it out of the water? He's looking at it so lovingly, like, "Oh yes, you'll do."
Yeah, he's such a creep. It's great.
Yeah, and this is the thing too, Nathan. I think you mentioned this before. When you watch a movie at a certain age, you think a certain way about a character. Like, oh yeah, I like this guy's got like creepy spiders. Like he's kind of cool. This kid wants to hang out with him. Obviously, that's awesome. You want to see all the spiders. As you get older and become an adult, you start to say, you know what? I'm kind of on the mom's side. I don't think this kid should be hanging out with this creepy spider guy.
True.
That's what I want to say right now. He is a scary person.
And he gives like weird little lines, like it's like, oh, they wrap all their gifts and they bring them to the female because all women like breakfast in bed, and
Yeah.
it's like quit touching the boy.
I think it'd be great if the kid would be like, chicks, am I right?
He's like, gotta hit that G spot, right, kid? He's like, what?
I'm 11.
Joshua would like elbow him, and be like, yeah, girls. You know what I'm saying? And the kids be all like, I'm 11, and Josh is gonna go, yeah.
I've never held a girl's
flop
hand.
sweaty.
It's like, I went to the prom with my cousin.
Well, and like, when this kid goes to the spider farm owned by Tom Noonan, a.k.a. Scary Joshua, he greets him in the creepiest way ever. Because the kid just, like, hears a noise, backs up, and he puts his hands over his eyes, and then kind of lets him turn around, and he's like, hey.
It's like that, like, friendly little, like, guess who? It's like every priest that comes up behind you, like, confession.
Arguably scarier than any spider in this movie. But he also has a parrot that hilariously quotes The Sixth Sense.
Yes.
Which in 2002, I think, was even played out. Because that movie came out 3 years before this.
Yeah, but I mean, a good cliche, right? Takes a lot longer to die.
Drew, you mentioned something about how this guy, you don't know how this guy really makes his money. He also says these spiders are getting bigger because I guess we should note that there was a toxic waste dump in the lake that we see earlier on in the movie. But it's making the spiders bigger. And he says, I'm gonna make a fortune. How?
Well, right.
He kind of reveals that he's a bit of a smuggler.
Yeah.
Right. He said that he had to, like, bribe every customs agent from, like, here to South America.
Yeah.
To get the orb weaver spiders in. And so, I mean, obviously, he has to make some type of money. So, I guess he could be extracting the venom from the spiders and selling, the venom to labs or medical, pharmaceutical companies, possibly. But
I like to think he's selling them to fetish sites. As soon as Mike leaves, the kid is named Mike, who, by the way, I fucking hate this kid. I'm just going to say it right now. Not a fan. Not a fan.
He's super intelligent. Boy genius. Will Robinson, if you will.
He's smart based on purely spiders. Like, that's what he's smart on.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes it pays to specialize.
But
it might. You can end up like Joshua.
Right.
Is that Mike's future?
He would take it over.
I want to see
his bedroom. His bedroom's already plastered with, like, spider posters, and he has his little, like, height diagram to, like, see how monstrous spiders could grow.
It's weird computer software that is specifically designed for spider size increase. Yeah.
Oh, hey, you know what? This was right at the time when Hollywood was going nuts with computers equal magic. I mean, even it was worse than it is now.
Yeah, this is some real criminal levels of exciting computer scenes. But as Mike leaves, Joshua is attacked by one of his little spiders. Mm-hmm. He is bitten and mauled, and his parrot is also killed.
Yep.
In the middle of his Sixth Sense quote, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, right.
Because you have to hit that point one more time to get the laughs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like the spiders have been growing bigger and bigger based on him saying that, they've been eating these crickets and it's like spider steroids.
Right.
They've been getting bigger and bigger. So obviously, like, it's the crickets that he's finding in the water, but he has like an entire container full. So is he going out every morning and meticulously, like, finding the crickets specifically?
Also, these cops. So we meet the officers.
Two of them. Only two of them.
Two of them in the entire town, seemingly. Carrie Wurer, however you pronounce her fucking name. Actually, fun fact, she was in last movie as well that we did.
Yes.
I don't remember who she played, but she was in it. But yeah, her and Pete is the other guy. And they find the toxic waste. They note that it's been a few weeks since it was dumped there. So, number one, why are they only finding it now? I guess because there's 2 cops in the entire town. And number 2, so Joshua was just going here. He would have seen the toxic waste and not reported it.
You would think so. You would think so.
Right? You're like, well, I guess I better strike while the iron's hot.
Do we get a call from Joshua again? Yeah, somebody apparently broke in and beat him half to death. He would like to have a restraining order put on some guy. Oh, okay, we'll get to it later. I have to go home. My wife wants me to fix the living room.
Oh yeah.
Mind you, the cops go home at night, so apparently no one's on duty throughout the evening.
Right? I don't think there's any other cops in this movie except for ones that are not from that town.
Well,
No, yeah,
Again,
it's
they're
only
sheriffs,
these two.
right? So
Sheriff
No,
and deputy.
she's the sheriff. He's the deputy.
Deputy Pete, who is cartoonishly stupid.
Yeah, I love that. Can you help put his bike in the back? What? Oh yeah.
To an alarming degree. Like, I feel like the sheriff is doing everything because he is too dumb. He's too dumb to live in this movie.
After he wipes his head with the glove that he used to manhandle the barrel of toxic waste out of the pond, he like wipes his head and he's like, oh crap, I did it, and he smells it and then he touches his head again.
But the sheriff is also Mike's mother. Mm-hmm. And he comes by and she takes him home. And I think this is where we meet future star Scarlett Johansson. Mm-hmm. With dirt bikes. 'Cause dirt bikes are super cool.
Well, they are super rad.
Hey, see what you did there. So there's a bunch of dirt bikes. They speed past the sheriff. One of them is Scarlett. So one of the people on the dirt bikes is Scarlett Johansson, who is I think 17 in this movie.
She's like 17, 18.
Yeah, she's quite young.
Quite young. So is it weird that I said that I thought she was attractive?
No.
Okay.
No.
And she basically tells Scarlett Johansson, "Come on, we're going home." We find out that one of the dirt biker dirt biker. That sounds like something else. One of the dirt bikers, the guy that's into Scarlett, his dad is like the mayor. Everybody's connected in some way.
His stepdad.
Stepdad is the mayor. And yeah, so she takes Scarlett home. By the way, Scarlett Johansson was wearing a helmet. I don't think she was being that reckless.
No, but, they're uncouth ne'er-do-well youth, so...
And they had complete, an utter lack of care for, pulling dangerous stunts in front of the sheriff.
Oh, yeah.
Full view.
Totally.
It's like an open road,
Well,
no one for miles.
One of them even mentions when she gives them a ticket, don't you have someone who could, take care of that for you? Yeah, your dad's the mayor and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, go give him that ticket, and, you can know how little that means to me.
Yeah.
So from there, she takes them home. Mm-hmm. I just wrote down because they have Scarlett Johansson's on the phone, on the home phone. I was like, what is that big weird cell phone they're using? Hey kids, there used to be this thing called landlines.
Yes.
And they were also known as home phones.
The kid is trying to get in contact with Joshua because he had found, he found the toxic waste, the toxic waste, and he wanted to warn Joshua. He was like, he's got to know this is why the spiders are growing big.
Yeah, I gotta warn Joshua. To which later he this is much later, but I remember he's talking to David Arquette, the star of the film, and he says he says very casually, "Yeah, I think Joshua might be dead."
See, it's funny because he goes about it very scientifically, and actually in all reality of the entire film, like, he does stay pretty calm.
Right?
So, I mean, as gentle and PC as I can possibly say it, like, I mean, with a slight case of, like, autism, you know, I mean, it could be the case that this is why he's so focused.
Well, I mean, he does seem... He's almost like a sociopath in his emotional responses to everything.
Josh was dead. I'm gonna now take control of the spider army.
Yeah. Oh, wouldn't that have been a great twist?
As he rides in on the queen.
Attack, my pretties!
No one believed me. You all didn't believe me. And now you suffer.
But eventually we, you know, gotta batter down and get David Arquette in this town here.
Yes. And former WCW heavyweight champion David Arquette.
Yeah.
He shows up, and he's driving his truck and listening to the most 90s song in the 90s. Even though this came out in like 2002, 2001.
Yeah.
It very well could have been filmed quite a bit before this and then just held over for a while.
Yeah. We also find out that his aunt sucks at family.
Yeah.
His aunt? Gladys?
Yeah. Gladys.
Yeah,
Gladys. She doesn't recognize him, but then again, she has like a 3-foot cloud of nicotine hovering over her office space.
She does a lot of smoking.
It's like, the mine's going under, dear. Go away.
It's one of those situations
David, is
where...
that you?
Is that so wrong?
I just want to smoke cigarettes. Is that so wrong?
It's one of those situations where I wish Selma Diamond from Night Court was still alive, because she would have been perfect in that role.
I mean, it's interesting to see that this is the aunt who is saying, like, oh, the mine's going under, when in reality, that only leaves to tell you that she has been left in charge of the mine.
Yep.
I mean, she's the one who's sitting there going, like, do we have any ore? No. Can you pay your bills? No. Thanks for calling.
Excuse me, I have to go smoke.
I'll keep the mines open in one condition. You got a cigarette?
And then, I got a note here that they go back to... Oh, no, there's a scene where we're at ScarJo's place, and I just have a note, gross. She likes Linkin Park.
All right.
It's the only note I have from that scene, because my next scene is about Mayor Dickweed here.
Oh, yeah.
And how he's the bad guy from Cuffs.
Well, let's... played by Leon Rippey.
Yeah, the dude who was the doctor in Universal Soldier.
But, Sheriff Dickweed, it's not Sheriff Dickweed, Mayor Dickweed. Mm-hmm. Sorry, my bad, guys. As Nathan said, Mayor Dickweed.
Right, you got elected.
It's called a landowners meeting. Yeah, see, Dickweeds can get elected everywhere, guys.
Even in fictional towns.
Yeah, not just entire countries, also fictional towns. But he's doing this big landowners meeting, and I got... What I get from that scene is he's telling everyone he wants to sell the entire town? Is that what it was? And, like, move the entire town to another place?
Something like that.
Not even like move the entire town. It's that this company wants to buy every single bit of property.
Right.
Because the mines run underneath the entirety of the town.
But only if everyone sells.
Right. So it's not like, hey, we'll relocate everybody so no one loses, like, their family connections, the business that, that can still be running for 50, some odd years. We just relocated. Like, no, they want everybody and pay them, and apparently, like, good luck to you.
Yeah, so we get David Arquette, who just, like, dramatically interrupts with, like, my father owned the mines 10 years ago, I'm back, and I want to keep the mines open, and blah, 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 blah.
There's methane gas.
And it turns out that David Arquette is the pickaxe killer.
I thought about that, too, from My Bloody Valentine.
Yeah.
This ties in with that movie.
That makes so much sense. This is why he's been on the run for 10 years.
That's right.
Where have you been? Murdering people. I've actually been in the mines. No one just came to look.
Excellent casting of an older Jensen Ackles, guys.
There you go.
David Arquette.
It's interesting because even if he's gone for 10 years, it seems like nobody in the town recognizes him. Gladys, his own family, doesn't recognize him. And then suddenly from the shadows, like, there's methane gas in them mines. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. This is a landowners meeting? I am a landowner.
Right.
Dick.
It's only
Reconstructive surgery.
if we're going with the theory that the movie presents, it's only been 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, it really hasn't been that long. It's not like he's a 25-year-old man.
Man, I still have people who recognize me that I, like, went to high school with. That I haven't seen since high school.
So I think he's like David Arquette's actual age. He's about 30, 31 at the time. So that would mean he would have been in town last when he was like 21. I don't think he aged a whole lot.
No. Not to the point where like no one's gonna recognize him.
But like I've seen the opposite too, where people come into town, they look completely different. Everyone's like, "Oh, hey, it's him." Like what?
Right.
How do you know? But yeah,
let's head over to Pete and Emma's place.
Yes, so Pete, the dumb as dirt deputy from earlier. What is he trying? Like fix the walls or something?
He's like redoing the living room and like the kitchen area, and obviously it's like supposed to be for the wife. It's like, oh, she wanted it done. You clearly want it done, and I told you, like, I'll be a man about it. I'll do it myself. And she obviously helps nothing.
Yeah, they've got a real passive-aggressive thing going on.
And they've got a cat.
The greatest comical scene, probably, in the entire thing.
Well, and, like, usually I do...
I mean, there's other good parts, but...
Usually I do get a few clips for these episodes. I didn't get any this time just because we were so rushed on time. But the sounds that the spiders make in this movie are insane.
Oh, Frank Welker.
Yeah.
Frank Welker does the sounds. It's fantastic. It's half of the greatness of this film where you can't take the spiders too seriously because they do little sounds, especially like when they're in the mines and they're chasing the guy on the dirt bike and it's like...
It almost sounds like the spiders almost have dialogue.
Right. They actually like talk to each other. Like you hear one of them be all like jump and miss and it's like
There's even a moment where they swing on one of them swings on a rope and goes ah!
Right?
It's insane.
Oh, that's the zip line scene.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's insane. But yeah, Pete. So what happens with little kitty here?
It runs into the drywall. It runs. There's a vent opening, and it runs into the inside the walls. And the lady's like, "Well, okay, let's give the cat its snack." It's like, "Oh yeah, he was here." It's like he didn't go into the drywall again. Oh, you're gonna get him out. We have to give him cat food, and he hates cat food. And it's like, apparently you treat this cat better than you treat your husband, lady. So
yeah.
Yeah,
that cat gets the shit beat out of it.
Yeah, right, but the cat doesn't give up either because it throws the spider into the physics-defying drywall.
Oh, yeah.
Drywall
times. Does not ply like that at all.
It's basically a Tom and Jerry cartoon in the drywall.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, hands down.
And what's funny is the spider doesn't, well, maybe it eats him later, but the spider doesn't eat him at first. It lures him into the light above the ceiling to electrocute the cat.
I can just see it as like this rough and tumble, like constantly like up the wall for some reason, and then back down to the side and off to and over and then around, and then I'm pretty sure it electrifies either both of them or just the cat. But
it's like, oh my God. Like, come on, get it.
Right. Yeah. Oh, it's so funny but I love the deputy just constantly like looking at the wall, going like, now I can't remember the cat's name, but like just we'll call it like Rufus or something. Yeah. And she's all like, Rufus? Rufus? It's like, the cat's not gonna come to you, dude. It's
So
dead.
his wife leaves him.
Which is so odd.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't stick the cat in the wall.
Right.
So, I think we kind of skipped over, and I don't want to dwell on it a lot, but there's also some sort of budding romance between David Arquette and the sheriff throughout the movie, too.
Budding,
Because-
it's rekindling.
But, well,
Well,
I don't think it was ever...
he's always had a thing for her, especially when he wanted to tell her that her former husband was cheating on her.
Yeah, which is why he punched him and then left town.
Right.
For 10
and then,
years!
You know, they kind of rekindled their little moment after David Arquette punched the mayor in the face for egging him on.
For cheating on her!
And then-
Oh, okay.
At least they didn't murder
for,
him
like-
in mine.
Yeah. We have Scarlett Johansson saying, like, you know, he's not so bad looking for an old fogey type. And it's like, first off, he's not that much older than you. And then the sheriff's like, yeah, he just needs to shave.
Oh, guys, you know what?
Have-
I think I know why she calls him an old fogey. Originally in the script, that line was there, but that's because the role was originally going to be played by George C. Scott. That's why. They forgot to change that line when they recast it.
I'm back to save the mines.
He's kind of cute for an old fogey. Oh, that's a disturbing line in that.
Turn it
that
off.
casting.
Turn it off.
My dad found the Agua Mesa lode. I believe him.
That's such a weird phrasing.
I didn't even know. I didn't know what he was
Agua Mesa
talking
lode.
about at all at first.
Aqua Mesa load makes it sound like, yeah, he had a stockpile of, you know, mouthwash down in them mines. The Aqua Mesa load.
Oh, fuck. So, they, so the cat meets its unfortunate demise. Meanwhile, Gladys tells David Arquette, you know, blah, 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 you should go and tell the sheriff how you really feel. By the way, shave your face. She says shave your face because it looks like a stripper's crotch. But the crotch, when she says crotch, it's like censored by the sound of the tea kettle.
Right.
I'm like, this is PG-13. I'm pretty sure you could say crotch.
You could say stripper's crotch.
Yeah, that was weird. I remember watching that when I was younger, and when I first saw it, and I had the subtitles on for that part, just because I was like, "What did she say?" And in the subtitles, it comes up crotch, and I'm like, "Why? Who? Like, what was going on with the sound here?" Guys, we got to push 8-Legged Freaks another month. You got to find some way around that stripper's crotch line. That's too far for us. We're gonna give you an R rating. Fine. But back at the sheriff's abode, the kid is like creepily videotaping his mom.
Mm-hmm.
I had that written down. He's just like around the corner with a little camcorder thing.
Mom's handing out tasers.
Right, which Scarlett Johansson repeatedly calls a stun gun.
Yes, and she also says, "I'm not gonna end up a trailer trash like you."
Oh, she is
Oh
a
my
total
gosh.
bitch. in that.
Oh, that was awful.
Right.
And it's actually like probably one of my favorite moments because it's probably the most honest in the entire film, where the mother's all like, "Yeah, thanks for the flashback. Stop, pause, turn around. I didn't deserve that." And I was like, damn.
That was definitely Carrie Wur's audition scene.
Yeah, Patty and I were watching it. Even Patty was like, "Whoa!" Like this movie took a turn really quick.
Yeah, I mean they're both kind of shit kids.
Yeah,
I mean, like even Scarlett Johansson, she should realize like the character is saying like, "I'm not gonna get pregnant and become a trailer trash mom and sheriff, blah blah blah, like you." It's like, listen, bitch, you realize she had you. And you are that baby. Like, calm the fuck down.
enjoying this nice house that we live in.
Right.
She also, when she's like, so they make up very quickly, and she says, "Fine, I'll take the quote unquote stun gun," and I don't know why I have this written down, but I think she's trying to reassure Scarlett about like what she can do with her life, and I just wrote down for some reason, "You ever thought about playing a nice Japanese assassin?"
Or Russian.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, holy shit, guys! Her name is Black Widow in the Avengers.
Yes. I actually make that note. I have a note later on. She's literally the Black Widow.
Yeah, so David Arquette comes by and tries to woo the sheriff a little bit, but he's all clumsy and awkward. He's got flowers.
He's talking to his arresting officer.
He's trying to, like, reassure himself as he's approaching the door. It's like, I'm a man, you're a woman. And it's like, no.
That's not it. What?
I've got that backwards. I know I've got that backwards.
And then he's like, I picked him myself, hands her the flowers.
Yeah.
It's almost cringy to watch that scene, I'm not gonna lie.
It kind of is, especially because he's walking away. He's like, I picked him myself.
He's losing his mind. Him and Mike are gonna lead the spiders together. Why does shit kid suddenly have a tape recorder? That wasn't around earlier, right?
No, I don't know. It's kind of like the idea that, you take like Macaulay Culkin in the house where he's treated poorly, and then suddenly, he has that talkback machine. They don't show it ahead of time.
From now on, I'm only calling it a talkback machine.
Well, they actually call it. Like, it's called a talk boy.
Okay, see, I was close.
No, it's a talkback machine from now on.
Fantastic. No, he didn't have it earlier. He just suddenly miraculously has all this technology.
You got your talkback started up? Go to channel 2.
It's just like it's like a tiny digital recorder. That's all it really is.
Yeah. It's just weird that they don't establish that right away that he does that. It's just suddenly like, oh, now I'm going to go look for Joshua again, and now I have a tape recorder.
Right, because he calls Joshua, and he doesn't get any answer from the store, and we see while in the store that it's covered in spider webs, and Joshua's cocooned and obviously drained body is on the ground while it's suddenly dragged away.
Yeah, it was nice of the spiders to leave him there till Mike discovered his body.
Right.
Like, immediately after he sees him, they're like, alright, you got it? You got this point of the plot? Alright, he's ours now.
And the kid hitchhikes back from Joshua's place, taking rides from strangers. Great idea.
Right?
Yeah. Hey, mister, can you give me a ride? Yeah, sure, kid.
And that's when he and David Arquette make their spider army plan.
I actually felt, just before this, I felt it was really a missed opportunity for them to do some great stuff with the soundtrack. Mm-hmm. Because when he went in and discovered Joshua, he could have been walking into spider webs, leave a message and I'll call you back.
No, but instead, this soundtrack is basically, every time spiders are around, it's just a variation on the Itsy Bitsy Spider song.
Yeah.
It's some kind of remix of that, because apparently they couldn't afford any other songs.
Oh, that's super 90s one.
Oh, yeah. But it feels weird in a movie like this. You'd think it'd have like a rockin' soundtrack,
You'd think.
I have written down Spider Candyman for some reason. Oh yeah, that miner that has spiders crawling out of his mouth.
Oh, because it was so weird because he was like sucking on the hose to I guess get the water phrasing to get the water out apparently, but I mean what were you going to do if it was like a big chunk of mud? Were you just going to like swallow the mud?
Well, yeah, because basically David Arquette has the miners back to work in the mines because he wants to find all that gold. Right? The Agua Mesa, whatever the fuck it's called.
The Agua Mesa load.
Thank you. So, the miner's trying to suck the load out of the tube. And it ends up being a bunch of spiders that then all crawl out of his mouth and kill him.
It almost does that comical, like, the guy's on the stage too long and the long cane comes from off stage and just drags him off to the side.
We do get Mike returning home at this point. His mom catches him, aka the sheriff. He does this whole thing where he tries to tell her that there's like giant spiders, or there's gonna be giant spiders. That's why everybody's pets are starting to disappear. And she says the most screenplay thing ever, because he's watching like the TV's on. There's like a giant spider movie, and she's like, "This is just your media-induced paranoid delusional nightmare." Like,
I believe he was actually watching like I think it's 1954's Them.
Okay.
Or like 1960s Them, the giant ant movie.
It's
Which
just
is
one of,
absolutely an inspiration point for this movie.
it's just
Right.
I always laugh when people like say such a wordy thing like this, like media-induced paranoid delusional nightmare, as if that's a normal way to talk.
Honestly, it actually makes a lot of sense that, and I'm fairly certain that it was Them that was on his TV, because in that movie you have a scientist who's trying to warn everybody, like, we shouldn't, use radioactivity, on these ants. It makes them grow and it's going to come back and bite us in the ass.
Literally.
And they're like, be quiet, you're a woman. And then like no one listens to her, and it's like, oh, we're all doomed.
I'm surprised with that movie being in the 50s that the resolution is like they don't listen to her and then they're fine.
Yeah.
Don't listen to her. She's a woman. See, everything was fine. The end. Now this scene coming up here, I really got a kick out of. This is the ostrich scene.
Oh yeah, over to Mayor Don't Care.
AKA, I think it's kind of a ripoff of Jurassic Park: The Lost World. Because isn't it like that scene where they're getting pulled out of the bushes by the raptors? Like,
Okay.
they just,
like left and right.
Yeah, it reminded me of it for some reason.
Yeah, they're like going through like the tall grass, and like they keep getting grabbed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you.
Okay, did either one of you guys feel totally cock-blocked by the fact that the mayor does not get it, like, for the longest time?
Oh yeah, like he's living in his own world though. He's up on his big fancy house.
Mm-hmm.
He has his personal ostrich farm right outside.
As one does.
As one does.
Because his mall, which nobody goes to, also sells ostrich burgers.
Right, and he relishes in it. He's just like sitting there quietly. It is dead. It is empty, and he's just like, that was a good ostrich burger. And he looks around, and he's all like, it's a little slow tonight, huh? And she's all like, the fuck are you talking about? It's always slow. There is no one here.
No
But
one
we
can
find
afford
out
to go to your mall.
We find out in this scene that he doesn't give a crap about his son
No.
going out, and getting into orgies and whatnot, because that's what he literally says to him. He's like, I'm on the phone. I'm busy. Go. Have fun.
Yeah, this is the son.
Daddy's trying to hide toxic waste under the city.
This is also the son that wants to hook up with Scarlett Johansson.
Yes.
and gets tased in the nuts.
Oh,
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Well, we'll get to that in a second.
No, that's already happened. That's already transpired.
No, that's coming up.
That hasn't
thought we
happened
skipped
yet.
it.
Hasn't happened yet
okay,
because we
never
have the Sweeney Todd scene with David Arquette.
I
and
wrote that down too.
Yes.
the barber, who I'm kind of sure is gay.
Wait, the barber?
Yeah.
What, you get a vibe from him?
Well, just later on when he's got like his friend who's in like the back room who like apparently lives with them.
Oh.
I think it's just the one guy who always like sits in the barber shop and reads.
I like to think it's like stealthily progressive. This movie.
I like to.
Well, he already knows that he is deaf. He tells him, you're turn it down. You're deaf anyways.
See?
I do like that. I do like that this barber, who by the way, Nathan says Sweeney Todd because this barber is for the whole town selling everything. I'm assuming because that he kind of vaguely threatens David Arquette's character. Like, I'm going to give you a shave, but be still. I don't want to cut ya.
Yeah, it's like, we can't charge as much as people in big towns with jobs and money.
But then later, when he talks about the guy who died, he's just like, my best customer died.
See, but he's still, they gotta keep it under wraps, right? It's one of those things that everyone in town kind of knows, but doesn't really say. I mean,
No, but it's funny that he doesn't even refer to him as a friend. Just like, my best customer.
Right, no one says like, Bob, my best customer died. It's like, yeah, why does Bob need a shave every day? Be quiet. I'm in mourning.
I do all body hair. One patch at a time. It's the barber way. It's like, I don't think that's a barber way. Are you a barber? Shut your damn mouth.
And then next is when we get that front seat leaning nut shocker.
Okay.
Hashtag me too, Brett. That's what I wrote. Because, so they're making out, Scarlett Johansson and that dude. He's getting pretty fresh. He's trying to, he's doing some groping, and he's like, "Oh, come on, you just bring out the animal in me." Like a total douchebag. So she zaps his nuts, and he pisses himself.
It's a weird sound effect for it, too, because the sound that you hear would be someone, like, peeing on the ground, not peeing, like, from inside their pants.
This is also the kind of movie. This is the kind of movie that you clearly see that he's pissed himself. Then they also need to have him say, "I pissed myself," as if you didn't get the joke.
Well, maybe he couldn't even feel it. So I mean, that could have been the reason why he looks down. He's like, "Oh man!"
Did you feel that they all of a sudden? From that point forward, after he pisses himself, the rest of the movie, he's a lot more flamboyant. I'm not even trying to make like a gay joke or anything there. I honestly, like, from that scene forward, he seems like his voice is a little more high pitched. Like he seems a little more like he's a little more like flamboyant. Like I just got that.
Well, obviously the shock from the taser like shot his testicles up and made him a tenor.
Oh man. Yeah. So he is zapped. Scarlett takes off. She's like, I'm not feeling this.
She steals his truck.
She steals his truck. I'm not feeling this. See you later. Soon as she leaves, the spiders show up
on the horizon.
Yes.
Immediately as she leaves.
This is probably my favorite scene. Brett and his dirt bike buddies are just driving away, and these jumping spiders are just chasing and attacking them. I think they kill all but Brett.
Yeah,
I think so too. Yeah, because he does this like Superman like
he's saved by a
pullback from his bike, and he kicks it.
He drop kicks a spider.
I think it's called the knack.
Oh, okay.
What? Is that a real thing?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
I was big into the X Games in the 90s.
Are you former dirt biker?
No.
Okay.
Barely a former, cyclist.
I like how when he gets away, and then the spiders attack this truck that like blows up and kills a bunch of them, but then a bunch of them show up on the horizon again, and he says, "I love these things. All your friends are dead."
And like, who stops? Who stops to watch to make sure that they're exploding? No, keep going.
Yeah, cool guys don't look back at explosions.
Yeah.
They turn around and then walk away.
Right.
Who's got time to look at explosions?
And obviously, like, he's not caring enough that, like, clearly the man in the truck is now dead.
Yeah, he doesn't care about that at all.
Man, my life doesn't have enough excitement.
I'm gonna go get an ostrich burger. I hear there's a sudden influx of meat at the mall.
Well, obviously, he gets all of his ostriches from, from Fred Ward on Tremors, because he invested in that ostrich farm.
Tying it together. Nice job.
God. This, My Bloody Valentine, Tremors.
All in a shared universe.
All right, Nathan, Demons of Ludlow, integrate it.
Got nothing.
Yeah, so Gladys, we got Gladys's unfortunate fake out, her demise, as far as we know at this point, and her little doggy.
Yeah, that dog's dead.
Yeah, the dog is gone. And then she ends up, she's like, Bruiser climbs into the wall to find him. Lady, there is a gigantic hole in your wall. Wherever that dog is, it is not a safe place.
And she's going with a lit cigarette and like a fireplace poker, and she's like, "Oh my god, Bruiser, I'm coming, baby."
Maybe they'll be scared of bronchitis.
He just wants to be a dog. Is that so wrong?
That's so wrong.
I wanted like the aunt to like be a bit more tough. Like the spider bites her, like, "What are you doing? Get off! That tickles."
Stop it. I've survived 2 ex-husbands. You're nothing to me, Spider.
Guys, we're doing a remake and casting Harvey Fierstein. It's happening.
Yes, please do it.
I just heard, and not even like a good attempt to cover the fact that he's playing a woman, just a wig.
Beard
Oh
and
no,
all.
no! He can put on the same makeup and dress that he had when he did Hairspray on Broadway. It's perfect. It's perfect.
Harvey Fierstein dazzles as Gladys. Anybody got a cigarette? So yeah, Gladys is taken. David Arquette finds. I don't think he finds her, but what does he? I think he sees her being like spun up in a web or something.
I don't even think he sees it.
No.
He finds the poker in there,
Right.
because we watch her going round and round and round being spun, and he
Like a
finally
record.
then finds like a record
Ride
player.
round.
He finds the exoskeleton, like the similar one that the kid showed him in the car, but it's obviously like 4 times the size.
Yeah, that ain't no cactus.
Yeah, and then God, that's so stupid. And then he makes it all the way to the sheriff's house, and he's just like going to the door, and it's all like, oh my gosh, let me in. He's like, is so and so here? She's like, yeah, why? And she's like, okay, I'll explain later. Is your 9-year-old kid here?
Can I see your 9-year-old?
Why? Don't worry about it. I'm going to his room and locking
Look,
the
he's got a
door.
computer,
Don't come
right?
Upstairs. It's okay. Alarming. Red flags here. Is your child
Right.
home? I'm locking the door. Does he have a computer? I have to see him right now. I'm not telling you what it is.
And she comes in casually like, what spider?
She's like, yeah.
What hole?
Yeah, he's got like a part of the spider leg, and of course Mike is like, I'll get my computer program up specifically designed for this sort of research.
Right.
Shows him how big the
He's all
spider
like,
would be.
it was meant to be this big, and he's like, yeah, but the hole was much bigger. And I'm thinking, calm down your phrasing to a 10-year-old boy.
He's like, Sheriff, get out of here. We need to do more research. Oh, this movie is a stealth. What? I don't know.
No.
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 It may be. It's a sequel to The Woodsman.
Look.
God.
This movie is not associated with the North American Marlon Brando Association lookalike or whatever that was.
So yeah, he shows him the size of the spider, and meanwhile Scarlett Johansson is taking a shower, and
She's getting out.
yeah, she's getting out. She's got the towel on. She gets attacked by a spider. This scene is weirdly sexual.
Yeah.
It's like spitting that white web in her face.
It's not even like spinning. Like that abdomen is like throbbing and thrusting forward. It's very awkward.
I gotta say, it was pretty gross. Because, I mean,
It's
she
just
likes POD, Kid Rock, Matchbox 20, Take 5, and even Third Eye Blind. Disgusting.
And spider cum.
Well, that too, but I mean, really? POD? Gross.
Ugh.
I mean, it's almost as immediately it reminded me of the scene in the Red Band trailer for the Happy Time Murders, where the silly string is going all over the room, and I'm thinking like, this is almost like, is this the same creative director?
Can't wait to see that movie.
Brian Henson on set of 8-Legged Freaks.
Jeez.
I've got an idea. I'll write it in.
But
20 years to
I
make.
only want this scene.
But yeah, so after the spider comes in Scarlett Johansson's face, luckily David Arquette makes it in time, and but it's the sheriff that actually has a shotgun and kills the spider, because Carrie Werner kicks some fucking ass in this movie, guys,
Damn right she
A
does.
little bit.
and she's yeah, so she kills the spider, and they're like, "Do you believe us now? Waka waka." I wish they said that.
Oh.
So now, guys, we've we've got to find some way to tell everyone that there's giant spiders in the town. But first of all, she's got to contact Pete and tell him to get every single gun that they have, which I'm assuming is like 8 guns. And yeah, and he's just like, oh, all the guns? Whoa, okay, whoa.
Even Oswald's
like,
gun?
Yeah, Lee Harvey Oswald's gun. He's like,
Lee Har-
why do we even have this?
Why do they have Lee Harvey Oswald's gun?
It's just a gag.
No,
Yeah.
it's a strange detail,
Yeah.
which then Dougie Doug is able to play on later, which is pretty great.
It's part of the cover up. Where do they hide the gun?
The sequel is all the stuff that Dougie Doug was right about. But yeah, then they're like, oh, I know. Let's go to the Dougie Doug's radio station and tell the world about what's actually going on. We'll broadcast it on the radio.
KFRD.
Because currently the phones are out due to that tanker exploding.
Right. Oh yeah. So nobody can use the phone. So instead they'll just broadcast on the radio. On the conspiracy radio channel that everyone blows off as nonsense. Let's just keep that in mind.
Right.
No, regardless of whether she says, I'm the sheriff, this is the crazy man that everyone listens to for laughs. Except Gladys, who thinks he's very
Except
smart.
Gladys. I think he's very informative.
I like him!
He keeps me company. You haven't been home in 10 years.
Brucey likes him too, is that so wrong? Also, there's a technical thing here that I just bugged me for some reason. It shouldn't, but like when she's talking to Pete on the radio and he's holding the button down like stammering, she like cuts him off with her radio. No. He would have to let go of that button.
That's not how radios work.
He would need to let go of that button in order for her to talk. She would not be able to interrupt him while he's on his radio. That's why people say over at the end of when they're talking so the next person can talk. But anyway, I think this is where they make it to the station, right?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
And he was all like, oh, listen, everybody. Our lovely law enforcement for our peculiar little town wants to make an announcement.
And my thing is, like, why not just try to announce something more convincing to the town? Instead of just being like, hey, listen, there's giant spiders, so let's all meet up at the mall. Get all your weapons, and
Why
we'll
is
all meet
it
at the mall.
that when people are doomed, they go to the mall?
Well, I mean, Dawn of the Dead, right?
Right.
I think
Yeah.
that started it.
Yeah.
I think all these movies just want to be Dawn of the Dead. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, what's the possibility?
They tell everyone to make it to the mall, and then I think one of my favorite parts, because I actually think Dougie Doug is pretty amazing in this movie,
He does a good job. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I like how when they announce giant spiders over the radio, he's like, "That's stupid." This is the guy that's like talking about anal probes and like.
Right. And aliens and
There's-
government cover-ups.
There is at one point there is a tad too much probe talk for my liking.
Yeah,
He like leans back and gets comfortable with it. He's like, let me talk to you about the probe. Let me tell you why the probe is not going to come near me.
it got borderline homophobic, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad I'm not the only one that saw it, because he's just like, don't put the anal probe near me! You shouldn't even be near there! And I'm like, whoa, calm down.
And he goes into like the good detail of all like, but why? Why do you need to go up there? Why do you need the probe? What are you possibly finding?
Yeah, and I'm like,
Ain't gonna get no probe near me.
he's like, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get on my bobsled.
Yeah. So, you know what I do it every night? Keep the government away. I kiss my egg.
Shared universe with Cool Runnings.
It's all coming together, man.
John Candy was the man who signed off on the fact that toxic waste is going to be delivered in an unsecure truck, and hire the man who swerves at a fucking rabbit, run the rabbit over.
Yeah. I gotta tell you this, as a fella who has truckers in his family, they will not swerve for shit.
I mean,
Unless it's a car or a person. Okay, if they see an animal in the road, guess what? That animal's going down.
I mean, I'd let the town suffer from giant spiders to save the rabbit.
Nope.
But it's just a cute little bunny.
Nope. Deserves it.
Well, I'll call it busy right now. I'll get it on my side.
You go right ahead. She's not a trucker.
Holy shit, where are we? Yeah, so this is where the giant spider. Well,
Yes.
the spider attacks the trailer, right? Where they're broadcasting.
And
The tarantula.
straight from Panama.
What?
Yeah.
And nobody? Am I the only Slackers fan here?
Slackers, like the
No.
movie with fucking.
No, like the band, the
Oh,
Slackers.
I think I meant Slackers with like
I have no idea.
Devin Sawa.
They have a song. They have a song called Tarantula.
My tarantula don't want none unless it got bugs, hon.
Tarantula.
Oh no.
Straight from Panama. Fresh off
Nothing.
the boat.
You are your own little island right now. I have no idea.
Just how it usually is.
So anyway, for some reason they're still broadcasting while this trailer's being attacked by the giant spider, and the people who are listening are not believing any of it. Like, they think it's a prank until they start hearing like faint gunshots, and then they're like, "Whoa, maybe it is real." Like, that's what convinces
He's
them.
up to special effects.
Yeah, his budget's not this high. So yeah, they start to buy it a little bit, and I'm like, guys, has anyone here never heard a radio play? Like, this? It's clearly that wouldn't be enough to convince me. Is all I'm saying, especially if it was on this channel.
I don't know. I'm feeling that Dougie Doug's character doesn't put that much production value into his daily presentations.
I don't know, because earlier they even say like, well, it's one of Harlan's old ridiculous tricks. So.
Right, and they could probably think that, like, oh, look, he's getting guests on now. The sheriff is there. We know her.
Well, oh yeah, I don't want to say that yet. I don't want to spoil it yet. But, so the spiders are finally in town, and it's a great moment where this guy, they do the whole, like, the guy fumbling with his keys, one of the people to get into his car, but it's more like he just forgot how to use keys. Like, he just kind of jams them up against the side of the car, like he doesn't know how to put it in a lock. And, you know, the spiders kill a bunch of people. Oh, but we finally get to the mall, folks. This is the giant showdown we've all been waiting for. Where Dougie Doug has to be reminded these are not aliens, they're giant spiders. Stop calling them aliens. They do not look anything like aliens.
I did like the riff about how they were spiders from Mars.
Yeah.
Little David Bowie reference.
Fine, they're spiders from Mars.
Like, does that make sense to you? Fine. I loved the moment where the spider jumped into the diner and it tried to eat the stuffed animal head on the wall.
Yes.
And that's one of those, like, sound effects where he just, like, he takes a bite and is like...
Did you
Like,
notice
oh
that
God, I
Moses
don't
was
like
eating at the diner?
What?
There was this old dude with a huge beard who looked like Moses at the diner.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Oh, yeah, like ZZ Top came in for some soup.
Exactly.
Oh, I thought at first when that spider jumped on that moose head too that it was going to start humping it.
Like, no one stops to help anybody when they're attacked by a spider.
No.
They are all running for their lives.
No one.
Like, no one helps the waitress. They all get in their cars. They drive to the mall, where the mayor does the stupid line of, like, if you build it, they will come.
Have you ever met somebody who's legitimately afraid of spiders? They will not stop and help you.
Especially giant spiders.
Right?
Now, again, this is the thing. So we said that when they were on the radio station, I was like, why say giant spiders? Say something slightly more believable so people actually go to the mall and, like, help each other. They finally get the opportunity to call 911 by climbing up this tower, and David Arquette immediately is like, there's giant spiders!
He's like, I know how it's gonna sound but they're here. They're here. And she's all like, okay, sorry, sir, this is 911. I'm hanging up on you now.
The line is like, this is not phone a joke.
Yeah. Great line. Great
the
line.
operator says. This is also where I think this is a cool moment. So everyone pretty much gets out. Pete actually is kind of heroic and stays behind. So I actually thought Pete was doomed here when I first saw this. I thought he was done for. But he manages to get under one of those gates that just so happened to not be locked. And he does this thing where he has a chainsaw and the legs reach through the gate.
I love that part.
Yeah, and he just like grinds the chainsaw against all the legs of the spiders. Through the gate.
And I mean,
That was pretty
I don't
cool,
know.
I gotta say.
I don't know if like the toxic waste has made these spiders like extra juicy, but it's almost like Nickelodeon slime is just coming out of their legs and every orifice.
And I think he gets like the worst out of all of it of anyone else in the movie.
Like when he's in the car and he's like, "Why didn't anyone tell me? It's all over my face." But by this point, the mayor has like up and ditched them.
Yeah, he's
and like locked him inside too.
Yeah, on top of everything else, like he didn't need to do that part.
No,
and again, like
he doesn't care at all.
Like Nathan said earlier, I'm also wondering why isn't he dead yet? Like, why hasn't he been killed off by a spider yet? But David Arquette, we go back to the cell tower just for this moment where David Arquette gets to scream, "Get back, you eight-legged freaks!" Which
We have a title.
By the way, that was an improv line, and that's how they came up with the title.
Really?
Yeah, because the original title was A Rack Attack.
Yep.
Which they also used earlier in the movie.
They sure did.
Yeah, they gave a nod.
Yeah, so I wrote, here's the part where I talked about earlier, the spider on the zip line going, "Ah!"
And it comically hits the vent and just does that slow, like,
yeah, it's very...
and falls off.
Very cartoonish.
Oh, it's so funny.
You know what? Dougie Doug's character, he's the only black guy in the whole town.
Nope, that's not true.
Oh.
You have the guy at the town meeting who says, "Yeah, it was a great investment for this mall, just like that ostrich farm."
Oh, you mean the guy that gets all the spiders in his mouth?
Yes.
So now he's the only black guy in the town.
Now he's the only black guy.
No wonder he's, like, paranoid. All these, like, southern white dudes all around all times. I'd be freaked out, too.
I love the old man, the barber, when he's like hiding in like, you know, the Foot Locker like changing room with his pitchfork, and then he gets like chased after the tent.
Oh yeah, slowly
and surely
when he's not looking.
Yeah, that part makes me giggle, just super funny because I mean, even though the spider is clearly in the tent, it would have to have, like, put its feet through the tent in order to make it, like, turn around. And then slowly follow him. I wanted the spider to, like, unzip the tent.
So, yeah, a bunch of people getting killed off. Gropey boyfriend Brent is back. Brett, sorry. And he...
Take that, Brent.
I did not mean that as a slam, Brent. But he comes in just in time to break down the wall of Jericho.
Break it all down.
He's been driving through the mines trying to like get away.
Which
from the spiders ever since he, you know, after the truck exploded.
Yeah.
He like found his way into the mines.
Which I have to wonder. If that mine is full of methane gas, would you be able to drive a
he's
motorcycle?
driving the dirt bike.
Yeah.
Especially if he has to start it up again.
Right?
Like whenever it stalls out.
I don't think that would be a safe thing to do.
The startup might be an issue, but if
He
it was
definitely
going, it is an internal combustion engine.
It definitely is started up later.
I think it does. I think it stops because especially when the mayor goes into the mines and the mayor gets pulled off the bike and he watches his stepdad get dragged away, I think he has to get back on the bike and start it up again in order to drive away.
Which at this
and it's weird, like each time he puts on his helmet, I'm like, that's going to obscure your view in a dark mine.
A valid point.
Just forget about the helmet.
Right.
Also, like, so at that point when Mayor, what's his name, Nathan? Mayor Dickweed?
Mayor Dickweed, Mayor don't care.
But he gets
Mayor don't care.
he gets dragged away, and I'm like, oh, finally, he gets killed off. Nope, he'll be back. But yeah, gropey boyfriend Brett breaks down the wall of Jericho, and all the people are like, yay, and they go into the mines. Follow the kid, as they all say. And it's weird at this point because, like I said, Mayor Dickweed comes back, and he's alive. You had the perfect opportunity to just kill off his character right there.
Mm-hmm.
And yet he... Okay, spoiler alert, guys. Mayor Dickweed does not die in this movie.
But now he has to worry about something towards the end.
But isn't that weird?
Oh,
that he doesn't die?
Yeah. He's the evil mayor.
Just a bit.
Like, maybe it's because they have him connected to, like, Brett. And he's, like, sort of changing his ways.
I don't know.
It's strange. And then we, the David Arquette, Carrie Werner romance is all tied up nice and neat. She knows exactly what happened. She only knows everything that happened. That with the whole husband thing and him leaving for 10 years. So, I mean, it's sort of like, it's kind of like a G plot. Like, it's so in the background of this movie. Not important to anything else.
Well, he keeps trying to tell her, and she just is, like, constantly shutting him down.
Yeah. But she gives him she kisses him, so, thankfully the electric chemistry between those two is all wrapped up.
Mm-hmm.
Gladys is alive. He finds her.
And the first thing she tries to do when coming out of the cocoon.
Oh, Gladys.
She's like, I just need one more.
One more cigarette. He's like, no! Don't smoke!
It's like, thank God you couldn't, use the one strike matches.
So the plan at this point is to set off the gas.
Mm-hmm.
He puts matches in this, like, he sets up some matches to go off as the spider chases them, because they find the giant Consuela spider, of which we get the great line, "Adios, Consuela."
And she was
how did he learn the name?
I don't think he was around for the name, was he?
So, like, yeah, it was Joshua and, like, the kid. So unless there's, like, a random scene that wasn't shown where the kid is saying, like, okay, and he has all these spiders, and they're, like, running around, and there's the big one, Consuela, and she...
They do find the Agua Mesa lode.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, I totally forgot about this point. I was like, what, there's gold in there? What?
Yeah, they never explained what it was. They just said, like, I know. My father said he saw that vein.
Right. And Gladys, actually, to her credit, Gladys sees it.
Mm-hmm.
Right, she's like, all that gold.
Which, there's something else later that makes no sense, because they're driving out on the motorcycle, the giant spider's following them, on this motorcycle, which, by the way, there are shots where you see the motorcycle moving not very fast at all, but somehow they were outrunning, like, a giant fireball.
Yes.
And the entire mine, like, blows to hell. Like, that thing is destroyed. But
which you can see how big the mine is, because it apparently goes from that entrance all the way to the mall.
Yeah.
Like, these mines apparently, like, it's kind of like a college town. Like, the town is purposely built for the college. Like, we're going to put a town exactly on top of these mines. No one will ever know that they're there.
They make it out of there in time. Gladys says, don't start smoking because it causes explosions. So she's learned her ways.
It's a dangerous habit.
Yeah. And then I think I know this is a strong statement to make, but I think this is the craziest part of the movie. Because an entire police force arrives from another town, and they're like, oh, so you did believe our 911 call. No, we listen to Dougie Doug's crazy radio show all the time.
Never miss an episode.
Yeah, never miss an episode.
We never miss an episode.
So we just rallied the entire police force to come to your town on the basis that we believed him that there were giant spiders invading the town.
I love the one deputy, like, he's coming out of the car and he's all like, all right, where's the aliens?
Right.
Like he's so trigger happy.
I don't want to. I would be terrified to live in the town that's run by these police officers.
They must be so bored. But like, it's obviously the entire police force is. These two cops are from one other small town. The fire truck is from another small town. They're just leaving all these tiny towns defenseless.
Yes.
This is where the sequel comes in. This is how the other spiders get to the other towns.
They have no first responders at all.
It is a dangerously stupid police force. Imagine if what's that conspiracy moron say? Alex Jones. If Alex Jones was doing a show and suddenly he was like, "Wow, we're under attack by seahorses," and the entire police force of Lincoln, Nevada decided to go where he was filming his show and stop the giant seahorses. Look, that's insane. And they all listened to him. Every single one of them.
Well, they never miss an episode.
Oh, boy.
They've never... Yeah.
Well, I feel like he never stops airing his radio show either. I feel like that's a 24-hour thing.
Yeah, also a possibility.
But, folks, that was Eight-Legged Freaks.
Mm-hmm.
Giant spiders, David Arquette, lots
Oh,
of...
don't forget that closing shot with Dougie Doug and his bling grill.
Oh, yeah, that's...
His 3 gold teeth.
Yeah.
which he is basically acquired from the Agua Mesa Load thing.
Yep.
Right, and it also makes sense for his character because he still has his government, conspiracy theory thing where, if it's in his teeth, obviously, his gold is on him at all times. And no one's going to take it from him.
There you go.
Oh. Now, having said all that, guys, we're going to take an ad break, so we will be right back.
What Were They Thinking is brought to you by HostGator. HostGator is a leading provider of shared, reseller, VPS, and dedicated hosting solutions. Award-winning support is available 24/7, 365 days a year via phone, email, and live chat. Discover why over 9 million websites trust HostGator. Use the coupon code SCHLUCK for 25% off your first purchase. That's SCHLUCK, SCHLOCK, for 25% off your first purchase.
What Were They Thinking is brought to you today by GameItAll.com. Whether it's video game news, the latest in music, or movie reviews, GameItAll.com is your one-stop shop for all nerdy talk. Welcome back!
Hey, we're back here with Brendan and Nathan just talking about the Eight-Legged Freaks. Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, we got Drew up in the chopper there.
Drew, what's it looking like out there for traffic?
Oh, we have a pile up on the I-5, but don't worry, people are mostly on fire, so it'll clear up soon.
Hey, sounds great. Just avoid those surface street folks.
But,
Nathan?
Yes, Brendan?
This is the point in the show where we dim the lights.
Yeah, and, moving excessively close to our, microphones.
It's almost like we're having intercourse with your ear holes.
I don't feel that, that sort of imagery is required. Especially with the mouth sounds that we're going to be making.
I'm gonna puke.
You, do that?
Nathan.
Yeah. Yes, Brandon.
It is time for the low haiku.
It is.
17 syllables to accurately describe our feelings on Eight-Legged Freaks.
Yes.
So Nathan, would you like to begin?
I would, I'd be delighted to my fellow host.
Okay.
Okay. Itsy bitsy freaks. No match for former champion. I miss Dougie Doug.
Very good, very good, very good.
So, it's now your turn to delight us with some syllable and wordplay.
Okay. Dave Arquette in this. Also, Black Widow is too. There are spiders too.
Very, very good.
Okay. Phew. Got out of that. Well, now that we have read our low haiku, I think the three of us pretty much gave our kind of take on this movie, but,
Yeah.
what do we say?
Well, I think we say...
Don't take a word for it.
Yeah, don't take our word for it, guys. Although maybe you should, because I think people might have been harsher on this than we were.
Well, it's really kind of a sort of a toss-up, actually, because it's got a 48% on the tomato meter from the critics. I mean, it's like half and half almost. The audience, not so much. They only gave her a 32.
That's surprising.
Yeah, well, yeah. I have a feeling that it might combine with when the movie came out as well, because I remember seeing the movie at the time and being like, just what? And now I kind of appreciate it as the kind of send up that it is of like the old monster movies.
I got the first one here,
Okay.
from Dennis Lim at the Village Voice. He says, despite nifty FX, first-time director Ellery Elkayam staging is altogether devoid of variation. That's
Yeah.
some interest. I don't know what the hell that means.
But, on the flip side, Riley Capps from the Boston Globe says, as Green Guts monster movies go, it's a beaut.
There you go.
Wicked had. Wicked had.
Drew, would you like to read a little snippet?
You know what? Yeah, I found one from David Nussire and I just had to take it because it's Real Film Reviews.
Okay. Oh, there you
And
go.
it says Eight-Legged Freaks clearly wants to be the Gremlins for the 21st century, but never quite makes it due to lackluster character development and shaky pacing.
I'm not entirely against that one.
Yeah.
Characters are not the greatest in it.
Pacing is a little off, I'm not going to lie.
It is. It's definitely slower for a while.
Yeah, there's weird moments that it just have, like, you almost wonder, like, why are you there? Oh, they're trying to be funny with something. It's almost like the idea of the improvised scenes were hit or miss, obviously, with Get Away, You Eight-Legged Freaks worked. But the moment where he's all like, where's the phone? I don't have the phone. You have the phone. Oh, yeah, I have the phone. Sorry, I got confused.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Like, that's when I'm like, why did you leave that in? That's not necessary.
Richard Roper, formerly of Ebert and Roper, says, marginally amusing, but I'm giving it thumbs down.
Well, Steve Newton from the Georgia Straight, delightful Canadian publication
George
here.
Strait?
No, the Georgia Straight.
Okay.
Don't be a dick. What it lacks in scares, however, Eight-Legged Freaks makes up for with gallons of gooey green spider guts.
I like it. There was a lot of gooey green spider guts, as Drew mentioned earlier.
Yes, there were.
I got some audience reviews here.
Oh,
So these are going to be very well written and articulated. So this one is weird just because of the last sentence. So it says, the cast of Eight-Legged Freaks perform well, but the film is neither funny nor scary. Far, far, far too long. It's 99 minutes.
yeah.
How much?
It's pretty
That's
on
not bad at
par
all.
with this type of movie.
Yeah.
I'll read another one because it's quick here. So this next one says, this is just weird. This one's weird to me. Lame, but not in a good way. What?
Oh, yeah.
It's a good kind of lame. All right. Drew, you got anything else?
I like this one. It says mindlessly entertaining fun with nods to the creative features of the 50s. So again, it's calling back to the idea that even the poster is resembling them, which again I'm pretty sure was on that television set in the kids'
Yeah, it
bedroom.
absolutely was.
Yeah.
Brandon P he's all kinds of mean. The fact that Elroy Elcam has not yet killed himself offends God and mankind.
You know what?
Good grief.
That's fucking mean.
That's harsh. Hot take.
Ugh, dumb take.
No, that's pretty bad. Okay, the last few here are very short. So this is the last few audience reviews. This one just says, "The spiders talk? What the fuck was that about?"
Only like part of the best scenes in the film.
This one says, this person on Rotten Tomatoes, instead of rating, you can also put like want to see or don't want to see. And this person rated this movie I don't want to see, and they said, "I'd be a freak if I ever watched this."
Oh, okay then.
And then the last one makes a lot of sense. And I'm going to read it exactly as it's written, and it's all capital letters. "Stupid as I get out bulls, LOL."
What?
What?
Stupid as I get out bulls, LOL.
'Cause Hooked on Phonics learned me to spoke?
Sounds like it.
Oh,
Good
I'm using
grief.
that from now on. This movie was stupid as I get out bulls, LOL.
At least you didn't find one that was like a Tinder profile or a review for a water park.
So, I think then we'll just wrap it up there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that was Eight-Legged Freaks. Those are the reviews, and I guess not the last thing, but the next thing we do is give our opinion, recommendation, sort of this movie. So, Drew, since you are a guest, I'll let you go first. So our rating system is as follows: from top to bottom, was this wonderful movie magic in the water? I cannot reach a judgment night. Captain America. Or did this movie make you Nick Furious?
I want to say that it's going to be a top ranking for me because it's so absurdly funny, and it also has wonderful callbacks and shout-outs, to other films. Like you can see the nods to like cinema history as they desperately try to embody what a B horror movie is.
Okay, so you're saying basically movie magic in the water.
I say movie magic in the water, but it's barely making a splash.
Oh, okay. Hot take. Nathan, what do you think?
I'm probably gonna have to say that I can't reach a judgment night.
Okay, so you're somewhat in the upper echelons, but not quite at the top.
Yeah, no, it's definitely upgraded, because I remember when I saw it originally, and if I was going by my remembered perception of it, I definitely would have ranked this a Captain America, but it's definitely moved up a bit in the way I see it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of debating between two of them. It's somewhere like I cannot reach a judgment night, but you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna go with movie magic in the water, because I was kind of between those two, and I'm leaning more to movie magic in the water.
So I think it's all pretty safe to say that we would all, say it, at least check it out.
Watch it.
Yeah.
It's dumb. It's
definitely.
99 minutes. It's not far too long, and it is stupid as I get out bulls, LOL. But I mean, it's a good watch.
And hey, if you need another reason, October 17th is coming real soon, so that could help you enjoy it too.
Canada reference.
Oh, Canada.
Agreed.
Yep.
But yeah, that was it's Eight-Legged Freaks, and so real quick, last thing before we get to plugs and thanking our guest, Nathan. In 2 weeks, we have a very special episode coming up
Yes, we do.
because it is our first ever Patreon pick. Patron Erica Kennard got to pick the movie for us.
And good on her.
So, Nathan, I'm about to play the clue we both agreed on here.
Yes.
So just give me a moment.
Time to play the game. Time to play the game.
there you have it. First ever audio clue. Drew, once again, tell the good folks again where they can find your podcast.
Yeah, you can check us out on Twitter at RealFeelsPod. Facebook, just search for Real Feels Podcast. Same thing on Instagram. And or you can just shoot us an email at realfeelspodcast@gmail.com.
You guys have a RedTube account?
No.
Oh, okay. So wait, that wasn't... So who was I looking... So wait, I found Real Feels. That's not you guys?
No. Oh, sorry. No, that is definitely not ours. We had to...
Oh, I gave that video so many views. I thought I was doing you guys a favor.
Drew, you are...
I was doing myself a favor, too, but I mean...
Drew, you are such a good director, based on that video I saw.
Oh, well, thank you.
Oh, wait, I thought it wasn't you!
That's Real Feels late at night.
Real Feels After Dark.
After dark.
The Skinamax version.
Is your Simeon friend around?
Yes, he's
Nathan,
right here.
Nathan has to, we now have to give the floor to Montrose Monkington III.
Ah.
Hello! It's your good friend Montrose Monkington III here, and I'm actually pretty glad to be here on this podcast, as it were. Meeting a new friend, Drew. Hello, Drew.
Hello.
Yes, are you mocking me?
No.
I don't
Tension.
necessarily trust you.
Tension!
Anyhow, yes, your good friend Montrose Monkington III here, and I would like to invite all of you delightful listeners to take the time to check out my Facebook page, Montrose Monkington III Esquire and Friends. You can also look at my YouTube channel, Montrose Monkington TV. Lots of fun stuff there about wrestling, and there's some interviews that I do when I meet some interesting people. And you can also follow me on the Twitter bot there, as Brendan called it earlier. Yes, at Montrose the Third. That's the number 3RD. And I actually did some live tweeting of a recent WWE event that I was able to go to. Unfortunately, no live videos, but such as it is, they don't seem to allow those sorts of things at their events. Thank you. More later.
All right, well, thanks, Montrose.
You're welcome. I'm always glad to class up the joint.
So, of course, you can find us on Twitter at WWTT Podcast. Same thing for Instagram. Search for us on Facebook. What Were They Thinking? What Were They Thinking Interactive is our Facebook group. You can find us on all the podcatchers, Podbean, iTunes / Apple Podcasts, whatever it's called, Spotify, Stitcher. We have a Redbubble store, redbubble.com/people/WWTT podcast. Patreon, of course, because that's how somebody got to pick the movie for our next episodes. You can sign up for Patreon, all kinds of good stuff there. Early access to episodes, bonus episodes. You can guest host, you can pick the movie, you can advertise on the show. Lots of great stuff. So sign up, patreon.com/WWTT podcast. I think that's gonna do it for us. Nathan.
Yes.
After we, of course, thank Drew. Thank you, Drew, for being our guest.
Yes, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. Yeah, no, this was a hoot.
Yeah, Nathan, do you have any questions?
Well, I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, we're talking about a movie that's got your small town sheriff, that Carrie Wurr, and her character is clearly supposed to be, smart and a strong woman, pulling herself up, doing it, making it a life for her and her kids without her husband, because he's a cheating scumbag, and tells you she's smart. She's so smart that she can get elected as a woman sheriff in a podunk town in Arizona. But she lets her son hang out with a man who's clearly, a spider-loving pedophile. I mean, what were you thinking?
It's time, let's check our cue, baby. Pair it with a couple brews, baby. We love good movies. We love the bad ones too. So we watch them all and pass their lessons on to you. Oh yeah. Everything I learned from movies helps to make life a little bit groovy. Whether one last plot holes or gratuitous movies, it's time to get busy with your friend Steve and Izzy at eilfm.podbean.com.
Hey, do you like movies?
Hey, do you like podcasts?
If you do, then come on down and listen to the Home Video Hustle podcast, homie.
Hustle.
Every Friday, we talk about whatever movie PJ picks out the bag. What does that mean? Well, every Wednesday on our YouTube page, I pick a bunch of movies at random. Sometimes there's a theme to it, sometimes not. PJ picks the movie out, and guess what? We watch it on Friday. We talk about it for about maybe an hour and a half, whatever we feel like doing. Might give you something good to watch, baby. Come on down every Friday.
So come get your hustle on with Home Video Hustle.
You can find the show on any podcatcher app, or you can come down to homevideohustle.podbean.com. All of them in one place for you, so you can go ahead and binge it like it's Netflix. We ain't the Defenders, but I like to think we a little bit better than that. Come holler at your boys, man. Come chill with us. Peace.
Peace.
We're happy to have you with us this evening and want you to enjoy every minute of your stay here.
Listen to me. Please listen. If you don't, if you won't, if you fail to understand, then the same incredible terror that's menacing me will strike at you!
Are you ready to enter the sci-fi double feature drive-in? Every month we hold a special double feature with a very interesting theme thought up by your host, the conspiracy-loving Elisa, and yours truly, Jarrett the Kaiju Man Wegelin. We discuss giant monsters, little monsters, genetic abominations, robots gone awry, aliens coming to Earth, cryptids, and anything in between. So join us at the Sci-Fi Double Feature Drive-In podcast every first and third Thursday of the month. And don't forget to stop by our snack bar first.
And here is your clue, folks, for... Okay. Well, no, we're not going to do that? Okay, hold on. So much editing for future Brendan.
Professionalism.
Now I just have to watch a pizza ad. Hang on. Satisfy your hunger, the big crave. Okay, here we go. Alright, here we go. Now let's not press back this time. Perfect.